Good morning. This here is John at Give Back Adventures. It's August 1st. I've been on the road for over a month. I'm currently in the Great Divide Basin. It is a 140-mile stretch of nothingness. It's well, to some it's nothingness, to others there's a lot of beauty in it, and it has been nice. I have seen some wild horses, but it's pretty much, other than that, it's featureless terrain. Some of the locals refer to it as the Red Desert, and coincidentally, adjoining the Great Basin between here and Rawlins, there is an area specifically called the Red Basin. But this is an extremely desolated area. I haven't seen a single person. It is just as isolated could ever be. Some people ask me why I am doing this journey, and one of the reasons is, self-supported solo expeditions have always appealed to me. But more specifically, why am I doing it? Why did I form Give Back Adventures? Why am I using this as a means to increase domestic violence awareness, as well as raise funds for Operation Care? If you wouldn't mind bearing with me for a couple of minutes, I kind of want you to imagine being stuck in an area like this, or any area where there's isolation, desolation, no hope. Anytime you have a dream, it's squashed. Anytime you start to gain just a teensy bit of self-esteem, it gets squashed down. Say you want to better yourself, go back to school, take on a new career, whatever that might be, and the choices you're not able to make for yourself, choices are forced upon you by your domestic partner. This is a passion of mine. One of my, it sounds kind of strange, but one of my favorite calls when I was working in law enforcement was going to domestic violence calls. And I know that sounds kind of strange, especially with the purpose of my journey here this last month. But it was one of those calls where you really feel like you're doing something good. When people are stuck in domestic violence, it isn't weak people, it isn't strong people, it's a combination of every type, every cross-section of society that can be stuck in a life of domestic violence. Imagine you have a family, imagine you have an infant. Imagine that the violence doesn't just happen to you, but it also happens to your children. Imagine that you have to revive your infant daughter because she's turning blue because she was smothered by your husband. This has happened. I know this has happened. I have been told this story by somebody close to me. Acts like this are unimaginable. Any acts of domestic violence against any partner in any relationship is unacceptable. This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm trying to increase domestic violence awareness. This is why during the course of this journey I'm stopping and talking to other domestic violence advocacy groups, much like Operation Care in Amador County. The work that they do is invaluable. When you're stuck in domestic violence, there is no greater sense of isolation than the life that that person is living. They have nobody to reach out to. They have no self-esteem. They are kept isolated. They are kept away from their friends. They are fearful of confiding in anybody the miserable life that they're living for fear of getting beaten down further. This is unacceptable. This is why I'm doing this journey. This is why I hope that you take this seriously. Imagine for a moment, and I'd like to use the word imagine, because you never know who in your life that you quite frankly may know is living a life of silence while they are tolerating living a life of being put down, having their self-esteem ripped out from under them, getting beaten, being in fear, living a life with absolutely no light at the end of the tunnel whatsoever. So, where does that leave us? Well, here I am working for Operation Care, trying to increase domestic violence awareness. If I can reach one person and that person says, you know what, I heard about this video, I followed John on this journey, I'm going to give Operation Care a call and ask for help. Take that first step, as courageous as that first step is going to be. This is what makes this journey worth it. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I'm a little over halfway through this journey. I'm headed for Rawlins, Wyoming. Should get there later today. I'll be entering Colorado in the next couple of days. Looking forward to that. I urge you to log on to Operation Care, see what they do. They do a tremendous amount of work. They work 24/7 through education, trying to educate the public, trying to educate the youth, trying to educate our young people what is acceptable behavior in relationships and what is unacceptable behavior. This is exceedingly important. Domestic violence carries on from one generation to the next. Somebody living in domestic violence is extremely likely to look at that as normal. Whether they are thinking that or not, it is ingrained into their DNA. And they are the most likely to have that perpetuate itself as they enter adulthood and enter in relationships and unfortunately enter into a life being victimized by a loved one who perpetrates acts of domestic violence on them. This is unacceptable. Imagine a life, imagine a world without domestic violence and how much of a better place this world would be. So thank you for watching this. I certainly do appreciate it. I will continue to share as many photos and videos of the beautiful areas I'm seeing. And as I sit here in the Great Basin, isolated, alone, the difference between me and the people that I'm advocating for is I'm doing this by choice. And I guarantee that in a day and a half from now, I will be in beautiful areas. I will see new things. I have that choice. People living in lives of domestic violence don't have that choice. Let's give that choice back to them. Let's encourage them. How would you feel if you had a loved one and after years go by, your loved one finally confides in you that they've been living a life of misery, mired by domestic violence? Be there for them, support them, encourage them to contact Operation Care or wherever you live. If you don't know what agency is there to help you or help them, all you have to do is Google. Just type in Google domestic violence help near me, and I guarantee you every single county and many cities within that county will have their own domestic violence advocacy groups, and they are there to help 24/7. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. Thank you very much. Have a great day, and I look forward to continuing to share this journey with you. We'll see you down the trail.